Hello everyone. So today I'm just going to show you how you can read a rubric so you can understand the score you got on your science project. So this is just a fake score I made. You can see here's all the numbers on the sides. Those make up the different components of your score. The final score that this student got was a 78. Again, this isn't a real score that this isn't a real rubric I used for someone. This is just a fake one that I made to show you guys. So let's go over the different parts. So if you haven't used a rubric before, it can look maybe a little intimidating, but it really shouldn't be. And you're going to use lots of rubrics throughout your schooling, so it's good to understand how to use them. So up here you can see we have four numbers, or actually five. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Those are the different possible scores you can get on parts of your project. 4 is the highest score. 4 is a perfect score. 0 is the lowest score. You usually only get 0 when it says not attempted here. That means you just forgot to do that part of the project. I'm probably going to add soon to my rubrics not attempted or copied. So if you copy something, you're just going to get a 0 for it. Okay? So those are the different scores you can get, and then over here on this side, these are the different categories of the project, okay? So let me go through and show you how that's going to work. Let's get rid of all this stuff. Okay, so the first category is organization and professionalism. So that's just making sure your project looks nice and that you weren't joking around on it and putting a bunch of memes in there. I had some students do that last year, and they got a bad score in this column because they were not organized and professional. So the highest score, a 4, that you can get in this column is if you have a high school level of professionalism and organization. That means it's really professional, the project looks really good, it's a good project, it's a good, let's say it's in Keynote, it's a good presentation, or it's just a really good, well-organized Pages document. You get a 3 if, in my opinion, it was like a good, solid middle school level of professionalism. You get a 2 if it's a low middle school level of professionalism, like not very professional. A 1 if it's just really kind of elementary. And I don't know, it's kind of impossible to get a 0 for organization because every project's at least a little organized, but there's the 0 column for you. Okay, so when you look at organization and professionalism here, you look across at all these different ones, and that shows you the different ways that I could grade it. This student got a 2. So they only had a low middle school level of professionalism and organization. So that's something they could improve on. Anytime you get a score that is less than 3, that's not good. Because if you get all 3s, you get an 80, and an 80 is passing, okay? So all 3s is an 80. All right, let's get rid of all this stuff. Do lots of random little things with my pencil. Okay, so next you have creativity of representation, so that's the drawing for project 1. If you have exceptional creativity, you get a 4. Good middle school level, you get a 3. Low middle school level, a 2. Low creativity at all, you get a 1. And if you just don't even do the drawing or whatever, you get a 0. The student got a 4, so they had really good exceptional creativity, which is awesome. Then we have English. If you have exceptional English, it's a 4. A few mistakes, it's a 3. Many grammar mistakes, it's a 2. And if it just lacks complete sentences, that's a 1. And the student got a 3, so they just had a few mistakes. Pretty good. Now let's look at these other ones, okay? So what are atoms? That's the first big chunk of meat of the project, okay? So if you have a clear understanding and you did 3 to 4 sentences, you get a 4. The student got a 4, which is awesome. Clear understanding or 3 to 4 sentences, you get a 3. Limited understanding or less than 3 sentences, you get a 2. If you just attempt it or it's copied, you get a 1. If you don't even attempt it, you get a 0. So I'm not going to go through every single one of these different parts of the project, but I think you get the idea. If you are wondering why you got a 0, then you should look at this part of the project, because that's the one that's across from it. So it looks like this student just forgot to write down the 4 other physical properties of their object. Okay, that's why they got a 0. If you're like, hey, which one did I do really well on? I got a 4 on this one. You just look all the way across, and it's the one that's across. So they did really good on their diagram for project 1. Okay, so hopefully that makes rubrics make a little bit more sense. You're going to use rubrics, like I said, throughout middle school and high school and college. So it's important to know how to read them. And if you have any more questions, just let me know.